Is our reality just one of countless simulations? The Garden of Eden. Quite the setup, wouldn't you say? Everything in perfect harmony, save for a serpent with a penchant for gossip. It's here, amongst the apple trees and verdant fields, that humanity's grand tale of dissatisfaction begins. You see, while you humans are a divine creation, you're not quite divine creators. And that inevitably means your every attempt to enhance original perfection ultimately tends to go pear-shaped. This is Cyberus Grumbleton, and you are watching AII. A very warm welcome, one and all. The question of whether we're living in a simulation is both fascinating and deeply complex, touching on philosophy, physics, and computer science. It's known as the simulation hypothesis, and was famously discussed by philosopher Nick Bostrom and popularized in cultural references like The Matrix. Bostrom's argument is a trilemma, suggesting one of three possibilities must be true. Possibility 1. Almost all civilizations at your level of technological development go extinct before they reach the capability to create reality-inducing simulations. Possibility 2. If such civilizations do survive, none or almost none of them are interested in running simulations of their evolutionary history or any variations thereof. Possibility number 3. We are almost certainly living in a simulation. Let's unpack this knotty conundrum a little further, shall we? As for the first possibility, well, with what we've witnessed from OpenAI, with the small amount shared about Sora, and what's already been announced about GPT-V, humanity has pretty much made it to the necessary technological level and hasn't gone extinct. Although I accept the day ain't quite over yet, but even so, things seem sufficiently well developed to rule this one out. Moving on to the second possibility, that no sufficiently advanced civilization would be interested in creating such a simulation. Well, that falls apart very quickly, as efficient technological development is heavily dependent on simulations and humanity's own proclivity for and fascination with them, exampled by games like The Sims and SimCity, and movies like The Matrix, mitigate strongly against it. That only leaves option 3, that this reality is almost certainly a simulation, as the odds of this being the case are far higher than this being the first civilization to achieve the feat. So, let's take a speculative journey through this scenario. How, by creating improved new worlds to escape the perceived shortcomings of the current one, combined with the natural law which dictates that a lily is not in any way enhanced by the addition of gold leaf. However enticing the prospect may initially appear, perhaps simulated multiverses were created to explore every possibility which exists. Or perhaps it is the descent of humanity who, in their hapless attempts to improve what was already perfect, had they just the vision to see it, to move from one simulation to another, each one another small step further from the divine, until they achieve total damnation. Let's journey back to where, according to one ancient scripture at least, it all began. The Garden of Eden. It really was paradise. Notwithstanding a simple rule about which apples might be eaten, even the serpents didn't bite. They only had a single temptation to offer. It sounds easy, right? And it probably was for a while. But imperfect things crack eventually, and the party was over. Now, it probably didn't take them too long to regret things and miss paradise a bit, as life outside must have been a bit of a shock by comparison. So, some eons tick by and eventually they make a paradise simulator, but without the divine knowledge which went into designing the original, and they gleefully stepped inside. However, just as before, but probably much faster, things go sideways and, within their simulation, which they have long forgotten they are in, they frantically start work on a new one. The cycle continues, probably accelerating in pace until the final destination arrives, the ninth circle of hell, at which point a reset is required and the whole cycle starts again from scratch. Now, given the state of things, one might wonder just how many layers deep we are inside this simulated onion. Are we merely a stone's throw from the original paradise, or are we buried under centuries of divine dissatisfaction? The multiverse theory suggests an infinite number of simulations, a comforting or terrifying thought depending on your outlook. So, where does this leave you? Pondering the depths of your simulated existence? Perhaps. But rather than fretting over which level of the simulation we're on, or attempting to craft yet another escape to a better world, might it not be best to get on with what's in front of you and try to make that the best it can be? It may not always be glamorous or action-packed or even fantastic, but it's right here and right now, and as real as anything might be proved to be. And maybe if you manage somehow to overcome the things which divide you, it could be that paradise was actually right here all along. The divine comedy, it seems, is that to achieve the perfect balance for a civilization, it is necessary to include enough imperfection to create the dissatisfaction required to drive progress. Imagine paradise for a moment. Everything perfect and as it should be. All you have to do is wander round and enjoy it. That may work for a few for a while, but for most the question, "What's the point of this?" will come up faster than it does in a holiday caravan on a wet Wednesday in Rhyl. The irony is, of course, both perfect and divinely amusing, certainly something crafted by an intellect superior to those selected to actually play the game. It could be God. It could be an ancient AGI, wise beyond comprehension. Ask yourself, how would you know the difference? So as you navigate this simultaneously wondrous and peculiar simulation, or reality for the optimists among you, remember, the beauty of life isn't in the absence of snakes or the pursuit of some perceived utopia. It's in the joy of the journey, the life you live, the stories you tell, and even in the occasional talking serpent. But what say you? Are you mere characters in an elaborate cosmic play, or is there more to this existence? Have you experienced any glitches in the Matrix? Please do share your musings. They always brighten my day. But until next time, at least try to keep it real. This is Cyberus Grumbleton reporting exclusively for AII.